Good morning, everybody. Welcome to BNY, and welcome to the session. And I'm Sarthak Patnaik, and I lead Artificial Intelligence Hub for Bank of New York. And it's a pleasure to be on the stage today with our partners from Accenture, the Partnership Fund from New York City, and our Chief Commercial Officer, Kathinka Wallstrom. And I really wanted to warmly welcome all of you because this cohort represents the best in financial technology innovation for the future. And when we think about BNY, a little bit of background, we are one of the largest global financial services company, but we pride ourselves also to be a platforms company. And just to give you a context of a little bit of scale, we manage money, more than $2 trillion. We move money, more than $10 trillion every day. And in terms of safekeeping assets, more than $50 trillion of assets, which is 20% of world's investable assets. And hence, what is very important for us and our clients expect is trust and innovation. And when we think about innovation, it's not just doing this in a silo. It's about working with our partners, the startups, as well as our clients, so that we can build on each other's ideas. Coming to AI, which is close to my mission, we think AI has transformational power and will be part of every product and services. And hence, we have taken a platforms-based approach to support AI for everyone, everywhere, and everything. Our internal AI platform, Lyzr, is live in production for around 18 months. And we have 94% of our organization who have gone through responsible AI training and are actually on Lyzr. And we have 50+ solutions in production. So BNY has proudly supported the FinTech Innovation Lab for multiple years, reflecting our deep commitment to innovation in this space. And our partnership with Accenture and the Partnership Fund for NYC is a testament of the collaboration across institutions and how it can propel innovation. And as I prepared for the demo day, I looked at all of those 11 startups who are going to present today. And thematically, they represent the future of where the world is going in terms of 3 themes. One is empowering intelligent automation, whether it is in the area of underwriting, fraud, or claims processing. The second is, which is going to be super important, which is human-centered AI with intuitive user experiences. And finally, foundations for technology transformation, whether it is legacy modernization or building capabilities for AI platforms of the future. With that, I just wanted to wish you all the best for your demos and the presentations, and thank you for being here.
Good morning, everyone. So it's a pleasure to be here. Super excited. I can feel the energy in the room, right? We're going to talk about innovation here in New York City. And I want to start saying a big thank you for Sarthak for hosting us today in this beautiful, beautiful space, and also for your commitment with the program. Now, this is absolutely, and this is very important for us. So I want also to express my gratitude to everyone who has made this program what it is. So the entrepreneurs and founders that are here with us, the advisors and mentors who generously shared their time and experience with the different companies that we're going to see today. And there is nothing more generous than giving time. You know, especially everybody today being very busy, so really appreciate this. And the financial institutions and the venture capital partners for your guidance and also for being a champion in terms of innovation in the ecosystem. For us in Accenture, this is one of the most relevant investments that we make. So we are proudly being part of this since day one. So we saw the evolution of this program and also the impact. The impact not only for the startups, but also for our clients. And I would say for the future of financial services more broadly. Right? This lab, they bring bold ideas in a way that we can connect. We can bridge, you know, the energy of innovation with, you know, the trust and scale of established institutions, you know, and ultimately driving value for the industry. That's all about the value that the innovation can bring, especially in the moment that we are living, right? It's not going to be a surprise if I ask anyone in this room, what would be the next topic that will fuel the next wave of growth in financial services? That the answer will be AI, right? And today, we're going to see, you know, the companies showing how we can apply this and in order to create more value for the industry. So in Accenture, now we really believe that particularly generative AI has the potential to transform financial services industry more than any other industry. This is based on our research. So we are in a very important moment in terms of the industry, and for sure the winners will be, you know, the institutions that are able to understand, you know, implement and scale innovation. So we are incredibly proud to co-run this lab alongside the Partnership Fund for New York City. At Accenture, our commitment is to support, scale, and connect these companies to the networks and resources that turn prototypes into business impact. And with that, it is my pleasure to introduce someone who has been at the heart of this lab since day one, right? Maria Gotch, President and CEO of the Partnership Fund for New York City. Maria, thanks for your unwavering leadership and vision over the past 15 years. You've been instrumental in making the Tech Innovation Lab a launchpad for what's next in our industry. So thank you all. I hope you enjoy the presentations, and let's keep building the future of financial service here together in New York City. Thank you.
Good morning and welcome to the 15th annual demo day of the FinTech Innovation Lab. Sartik, a big thanks to you, Katinka, Joe, Brianna, and all your colleagues at BNY for hosting us this morning. Everybody's commented on how it's such a beautiful space. So we appreciate your partnership and the support for the many years that you've worked with us. Now we're very excited for everyone in the room to meet this year's class, all of whom were selected by our financial services partners. Almost all of them are using AI to improve internal operations, technology deployment, data usage, compliance, and security. They really represent the next frontier of New York's fintech sector, which is becoming the epicenter for the application of AI within financial services. And the evidence for this is not just the composition of this year's class, but also 4 very interesting stats. Number 1, in 2024, New York accounted for 30% of all investment in fintech companies, up from 23% in 2020. $4.9 billion was raised in 2024 by New York-based fintech companies, which was more than any other city or region, including Silicon Valley. Number 2, AI investment accounted for 30% of all venture investing in New York in 2024, and almost half of the venture investments to date in 2025. Number 3, financial services is the second largest user of AI behind the tech sector. And to get closer to all of this activity, OpenAI recently opened an office in New York City, and last week Sam Altman spoke to a room of business leaders organized by the partnership. So where does the FinTech Lab fit into all of this? It's an accelerant. We help accelerate the testing and adoption of cutting-edge technologies like AI within 40 major banks, insurance, and money management firms. The program works because these entrepreneurs get priority access to senior executives in financial services who help them understand what a large institution actually needs and why they want to buy it. In addition, they get guidance from successful entrepreneurs on about how to build a tech company, insights from venture capitalists on what makes a fundable company, and lastly, because we're in financial services, discussions with current and former regulators who help the entrepreneurs understand the guardrails of financial services. And as a result, the 130 alums of the program have raised $3 billion and created 3,000 jobs. And over 30 companies have been acquired, and 83% of the remaining are still in business. This year's class is leaving with 30 POCs or pilots, either planned or in serious discussions, so they are off to a fantastic start. And so much of the success of the FinTech Lab is driven by many of you in the room. You contribute your time, expertise, the resources of your institutions to support the next generation of innovation in finance. The FinTech Lab works and benefits New York City, which is why we're doing this, because of all of you. So thank you all very much. And now to the main event. We're going to kick things off with Siva Surendira of Lyzr, and I'm happy to report he's moving his company from New Jersey to New York City. Applause for that. He will be introduced by Casey Benzie of BBH, who joined the lab this year. Casey, over to you.
Hi guys, thanks Maria, and thanks Luke and Christy for an amazing program. So my name's Casey Benzie, and I'm representing the innovation team over at Brown Brothers Harriman. This is our first year participating, and both Palqee and Lyzr have made this amazingly easy on us. Siva and the team have been delightful to work with over the past few months. It's clear this team is ready for growth, and it's been wonderful to see them grow with grace over the past few months. They've created an enterprise agent platform that spans industries and verticals, and they're building what they hope to be a household name in the agentic space, and simultaneously are bringing together the startup community by hosting these amazing sailing events. If you're interested in sailing or you're not interested but just curious, look up Siva's LinkedIn. Really cool. I'm excited to see what this team continues to achieve, and now I'm going to hand it to Siva to tell you more about the work that they're doing. It's really exciting.
Thanks, Casey. You've been a wonderful chaperone for us. Good morning, everyone. My name is Siva, founder of Lyzr, a private full-stack agent infrastructure platform with built-in responsible AI guardrails. So why did we build Lyzr today? There is a big reliability problem with agents. If you see 95% of all AI projects remain in proof of concept stage, and I think you would be seeing that in your firms as well. What are the reasons? Number one being hallucinations. Number two, data privacy concerns, and number three being explainability, something that regulatory bodies now demand. So at Lyzr, we thought, what if we solve this problem at the source, which is the agent itself? So we embedded the responsible AI guardrails and hallucination manager modules native within the core agent, making an agent responsible by design. And we are the first and only framework to do so, by the way. How does it work? When the agent intercepts a PII data, the PII redaction module is able to handle it and not allow the data to pass to the backend LLM, thereby keeping your systems compliant. And when an LLM generates an inaccurate output, the groundedness module kicks in, sends feedback to the LLM, and this goes in loops until your hallucination issue is fixed. So we made an agent responsible by design, an innovation that got us several industry recognitions, including Accenture Venture Award and Harvard Award. And today, we've built the Lyzr Studio, keeping enterprises in mind. Built on top of the framework is a low-code, no-code platform that allows both developers and business users to collaborate and build agents. And if you are a developer, you can get to the low-code mode, the dev mode, and you can directly interact with the code, and you still get transparency and observability on top. Lyzr platform is designed to run within your own cloud or on-prem, so you get 100% data privacy. Platform is LLM agnostic and cloud agnostic, and most importantly, open source. So you don't have to figure out how to make LangGraph work within your organization and deploy and manage. Just get Lyzr Studio in. We are the enterprise alternative for LangGraph. Today, several Fortune 500s and startups are building on Lyzr. Very recently, one of the world's largest banks chose Lyzr among the top 3 agent platforms, a validation that speaks of the technology that we've been building. Let's look at some traction numbers. We've been a framework company for entire 2024, and in Jan 2025, we launched our studio, the low-code, no-code platform, which is receiving a lot of love. And I think the last 5 months, we added about 15,000 developers on the platform, over 1,800 plus organizations, over 100,000 production agents. And from a financials point of view, we hit 1.5 million ARR, like yesterday evening at a dinner. And we are getting to 2 million by end of this quarter and 7 million by this year. And we are raising our, Series A this summer. We actually built an agent to do that. We are launching the agent on Monday. You'll all see that. So obviously, we have to dog food our stuff. Today, Lyzr platform offers all critical building blocks to build an agent. You can build reasoning agents, multi-agent orchestrations, knowledge graphs, enterprise integrations, and responsible AI guardrails. With that, you can build blueprints like this, a customer onboarding automation agent, which can handle AML checks with human in loop. And we were able to reduce cycle time by 90%, 2x improvement in straight-through processing, and almost 45% reduction in false positives. These blueprints is something that we've been collecting so that you don't have to go through these experiments all over again. We today have 200 plus blueprints for financial services industries, reducing your experimentation by 70%. And powered by these blueprints, we are happy to launch banking super agent, Agent Amadio, and insurance super agent, Agent Benji. There is a reason behind the names, which you will find on our website, but these agents help you to adopt the specialized workflows to automate various banking value chain processes and insurance value chain processes. And we are growing the partner ecosystem. We are partnered with strategic partners like Accenture and AWS and upstarts like GoML to help you further adopt these agents, build and manage these agents in the long run. We also launched Lyzr Bay Bridge program, inspired by a meeting that we had with David Solomon at Goldman Sachs. Now, Lyzr Bay Bridge program gives you 6 months of developer licenses with dedicated forward deployed engineers, 24/7 human technical support, and more importantly, my personal cell number. That is a high bar that we've set for customer service. So lastly, the team understands enterprise. I previously built APAC's #1 AI/ML startup, winning several awards with AWS and Microsoft. And the team comes from a rich enterprise background, so we do really understand enterprise. Thanks again for this wonderful opportunity. Thanks to FinTech Innovation Lab, Partnership Fund for New York, and Accenture. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to open up with a quote from about 14 years ago when, at the time at Bank of America, we hosted Jeff Hammerbacher, who I consider the godfather of data science. And the quote is literally, "Companies are so focused on wringing efficiency from yesterday's technology, and in the process, reducing headcount. And they are missing how today's models transform their actual competitive advantage." Probably the reason why we're all here, right? To try and see how we can get to the competitive advantage part. My name is Manoj Govindan. I head up innovation at PGIM, which is the asset management subsidiary for Prudential Financial. And my colleague Dave Power, who's here, and we are a small but mighty team to help our businesses discover and then execute solutions from the ecosystem that solve specific problems within the company. And Alton Kadoreja, I think I got that right, is the founder and CEO of Cardo.ai, and PGIM got the privilege to mentor them alongside US Bank, Ameriprise, Fidelity, BlackRock. and it's truly an honor to introduce Cardo to this gathering. So folks, in this age of prompt engineering and LLMs and model control protocols and agents, as you just heard from Lyzr, we have in Altin a dreamer, if you can imagine that, right, in this world. In the course of the last few weeks, while laboring over modernizing capital allocations for asset-backed financing or automating cash reconciliation dashboards for collateralized loan obligations, I learned of Altin's love for designing the future of work in finance. So stay with me. With Cardo, Altin has made it his mission to realize his dream of using technology to prepare the business world for the future of work. And I'm going to read an exact extract from a discussion we had, one of the discussions we had, that succinctly summarizes our experience with Cardo over the last few weeks and how Altin is bringing Cardo to the market. First, elevate the employee's capacity on what they can achieve every day at their job. We cannot have young minds get a degree from MIT or Stanford and then be cleaning data in spreadsheets. Second, put people together on one platform so they can negotiate, learn, share, and innovate together. Eliminate unnecessary handoffs. And third, make the financial industry beautiful again, so brilliant talent wants to come and work with us. With that, I present to you Altin Kadreja from Cardo.
Hello, everyone. I think that was the best introduction everybody has ever done for me, so thank you, Manoj. We are the intelligent technology for asset-based finance. We run a portfolio modeling and data management technology for asset managers, insurance funds, and banks. Today, we have 10 million of ARR, 30 different clients across 10 countries, and we are 120 people. We have raised 17 million so far, and we are backed by Blackstone, FinTech Capital, and Fazanara Capital. So what is the market we are trying to help on what Manoj was explaining before? Today, we are at a 1.72 trillion of private credit market, and the vision for this market is to become a 40 trillion market. But as all the fast growth markets, they all have problems. So what is the problem we are targeting today is the use of spreadsheets and phone calls and legacy solutions for everything basically that you need to do to run an asset manager or to manage these kind of investments. Starting from the valuation to the portfolio analytics, to the treasury, to the reporting, everything mostly is done in spreadsheets. So we have designed a solution that is the first integrated solution across solving for the workflows when we talk about software, solving for additional data when we talk about benchmarking what is happening with what is happening with your portfolios, and AI, so you could have intelligence on what you're doing across the data extraction, across portfolio modeling, and across returns estimation. So we are one technology to solve for all these pain points. These are some of our clients. So we serve Blackstone, Sixth Street, Citi across their asset-based lending, private credit, and fund finance challenges. We serve 4 main operational units within the firm. So the front office, the portfolio managers, the investment operations team, and the risk managers. How does the platform work? In a nutshell, there are 3 building blocks. So we connect the data that are unstructured or sitting in siloed systems across different data sources, so originators, trustees, fund administrators, as well as banks. We model those data, so on a deal or portfolio level, and then we report those logics and those analytics to either investors or internal units within the firms. So how do we think about the impact of Cardo.ai? We think about yesterday, it's what you see on the left-hand side. So data lived in spreadsheets, people kept on working inside the solutions, and 70% of their time, if they are lucky enough, still being run on manual workflows. Today with Cardo.ai, we have a data standardization process that is ready to model for alpha generation activities. people are running together in the same team, so front office, middle office, back office, work in unison together, and they are ready to innovate and ready to create new investment strategies and to work towards alpha generation activities. We have, I'm super proud of the exceptional team I've been able to compose together. So led by myself, I used to work at BlackRock before, and we are 120 people across engineering, domain experts, and business profiles, and we are being supported by a great board of very knowledgeable and well-respected people in the market. So I want to invite you guys to join me today to help me elevate the human capital and make this market beautiful again and build a new future for the asset-backed finance and private credit market. Thank you so much for the time, and looking forward to welcome you to our booth later on.
Trust. It's a big problem when it comes to Gen AI output. You know what banks do? Throw a lot of people at it. You know what a better way is? Palqee Prisma. It serves as your QA digital worker. You provide the controls, and Prisma makes certain that the AI responses match the output. It monitors the input, and it makes certain that that monitors the output. And at the end, you make certain that the AI gets much smarter. If you had 100 people right now, you need 20 with Palqee Prisma. And they have better oversight. My firm is pretty impressed, and we're going to test it. So if you don't trust your AI, you should definitely call Sabrina Palm, who it's my pleasure to introduce.
Thank you so much, Neil, for this amazing introduction. It's really great to be here today. Hello, everyone. I'm Sabrina Palme, CEO and co-founder at Palqee Prisma. We provide high-precision instrumentation for AI. The cost of AI monitoring is high, especially because of manual human-in-the-loop processes that don't scale, but are necessary. Because every financial institution we speak with says the same. Well, Sabrina, if there is even a 1% chance of the AI hallucinating, it's too risky, financially, legally, and reputationally. Now, model risk teams may have implemented already some AI evaluation tooling, but too often they end up evaluating the evaluator, which defeats the purpose. So the question isn't just, does the AI hallucinate? But the question is, how do we know if the AI evaluation result is correct? Palqee Prisma provides high-precision instrumentation for AI specifically designed for regulated industries. It gives in such as financial services and critical infrastructure. It gives you full visibility across your AI performance metrics, such as hallucination, policy adherence, and context relevance, and explains how changes in inputs impact the performance over time. It turns these insights into auditable AI quality controls that align with regulatory requirements. In a recent POC we've conducted with a US bank on a customer support AI, we've proven that Prisma can reduce human-in-the-loop cost by up to 90%. Here, we looked at 10 full-time employees that had about a 5% coverage in assessing outputs. With Prisma, we can get this to 87.5%. With one individual, reviewing outputs for Prisma was uncertain and needed additional input. That means you're getting more out of a human-in-the-loop process, faster, at a fraction of the cost. Prisma outperforms other providers in the market, such as LLM as a judge and fine-tuned models, both in consistency of evaluation, as well as the accuracy of the evaluation itself, providing more consistent and reliable results. Prisma is an agentic AI that learns about your evaluation criteria and controls. It accesses them through an internal knowledge base to help with evaluations. But whenever Prisma faces a scenario that is ambiguous, it doesn't just guess. It proactively asks for human feedback, turns that feedback into control, and adds it to long-term memory to ensure that with this continuous learning loop, it learns and applies these evaluations based on your criteria. Prisma is an SDK and can be very easily integrated with your infrastructure. It runs both on-prem and in the cloud, works with your chosen human review channels, and can be easily integrated into platforms such as Tableau for data visualization. We have international clients, and as part of the FinTech Innovation Lab, we are very excited to be in discussions for 4 POCs with financial institutions in the US. Not only that, we've also developed 6 partnerships with AI solution providers who are offering services to financial services and who use Prisma either as an additional layer for assurance or as part of their service package. The founding team has deep technical and regulatory expertise in building enterprise-grade products. We're also technical committee members for AI standardization with the European Standards Organization CENELEC, as well as ISO ISC, directly involved in turning regulatory requirements into technical standards for AI. So if you want to get more out of your human-in-the-loop processes, or you want to talk with us about our fundraise, please come and meet us at our booth. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Brianna Ferguson, and I'm excited to introduce IronVest, a cybersecurity company leading the way in digital identity protection. At the helm is CEO Avi Turgeman, a proven entrepreneur in behavioral biometrics and fraud prevention. His leadership is reshaping how the industry thinks about both security and user experience. IronVest, at its core, is helping businesses move beyond outdated security methods through advanced biometric and AI-driven authentication, making online transactions safer and seamless. It's been a pleasure getting to know Avi and his team, and I've been especially impressed by the innovation and bold technology that they're bringing to this space. Please join me in welcoming Avi Turgeman to the stage.
Thank you, Brianna. Hi, everyone. More than 10 years ago, I started this company called BioCatch, which today is a leading fraud detection company serving many of the biggest banks in the world. But during this time there, I was exposed to this paradox, which I'm sure some of you are familiar with. Banks are spending more and more on fraud solutions every year, while fraud is still going up, especially now with AI available for everyone. And user just hates the endless interruptions and frictions. Now, at the heart of this paradox is a security paradigm that separates authentication from action. We still think of virtual sites as if they were physical buildings. We're putting a guard at the front gate, authenticating the user, let them go in, do whatever they want. Meanwhile, we're trying to detect intruders that slip in through the windows. But the window is open in the first place because of this separation between action and authentication. And eliminating this gap will simply make fraud impossible. And that's the concept behind IronVest. We developed this technology called Anchain.ai that fused together identity and action into a single signal that makes fraud impossible. In this example, the user is doing a Zelle transfer. At the same time, we activate the camera like Face ID, but we also project the face biometric of the user on the screen. So, this is our own AI system. We call it faceless face biometric. But the signal we capture, it's actually the screen itself, so similar to share screen in Zoom. So we end up with a single video signal of the screen, which includes both the identity of the user through the faceless face biometric with the action that this user did and saw on the screen. And this signal simply cannot be bypassed by existing fraud methods, and it's very difficult to imagine an attack that could be able to bypass it. By the way, this is an interesting use case of unlimited Zelle transfer. We completely remove all limits from the Zelle without worrying about fraud or scam. We're getting strong tractions from both fintechs and banks of all sizes. In fact, We just completed 3 months of paid pilot with 9 million users and exceptional results. We simply took fraud, or literally took fraud to zero. And the plan now is to replace 4 fraud vendors that just became redundant. At the same time, we remove all step-up authentication and out-of-band MFA, delivering the promise of completely frictionless user experience, simply because the action ID that you saw is invisible MFA. And unexpectedly, we revealed 10 million of first-party fraud and abuse, meaning the authorized user did the transaction, but then lied about it and say it was fraud. I'm not doing it by myself. We have an excellent team of AI and fraud experts. Some of them worked with me in the past. Some worked against me in competitors, but I like them, so I brought them in. And some of us are here today, so please come and say hi. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Angie Schatt, and I work in the wealth division of Fulton Bank. Today, we're facing the biggest wealth transfer to the millennials and Gen Z. So we're super excited to be partnered with Vanta, the CEO of Wellthi. Wellthi empowers institutions by integrating social banking into their mobile apps. They deliver value through enhanced financial literacy, the ability to turn one customer into many using peer-driven communities, and smarter cross-selling opportunities using data analytics. By merging FinTech with social engagement, Wellthi helps banks deepen customer relationships with both the millennial and the Gen Zs, which is where the wealth transformation is happening. So Fulton has been thoroughly enjoyed our interactions with Wellthi and with Vanta, and we look forward to more. It is with great pleasure that I would like to introduce you to Vanta Gilliam, the CEO of Wellthi.
So good morning. Again, my name is Vanta Gilliam. I'm the CEO and founder at Wellthi, and thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to work with the Fulton Bank team, truly invaluable. So at Wellthi is an AI-embedded financial health companion that layers on top of your existing mobile banking app. Wealth managers, retail bankers, data and analytics teams can use Wellthi to supercharge their mobile banking apps into a powerful growth engine for deposits, customer loyalty, and revenue. I'm really excited about the traction that we've received to date. Some of our lead investors include MasterCard and Northwestern Mutual. Early adopters have reported a lead generation and cross-sell rates that are 56% higher than the industry standard. And after a series of POCs, we've secured a 7-figure contract with a major card network to offer Wellthi to banks and credit unions nationwide. So what problem are we solving? We're really focused on customer LTV, which can be tough. It's tough because it's costly, and there's a ton of competition out there right now. Let me give you some examples. If you are a financial advisor or a banker, your average customer acquisition cost can be upwards of $3,500 for every new account. And you're depending upon brick and mortar retail bank branches for customer acquisition and retention. And meanwhile, your typical cross-sell rate tends to be around 5% to as much as 10% for high performers within your existing customer base. Additionally, we're seeing trends in social finance where about 70% of Americans under the age of 45 are intentionally going to social networking platforms for financial advice around saving and investing and budgeting, not bank branches and not traditional financial advisors. You can see hashtag FinTech, for example, has upwards of 5 billion views and counting. And so at Wellthi, we offer a solution. Our AI financial health companion is designed to help you use some of the most underutilized real estate in the financial services industry, your mobile banking app. 70% of your customers use it for their primary banking daily. So why aren't we using that same real estate to drive customer loyalty and retention? Wellthi offers a solution to help you do it. Our AI-powered banking products, financial health insights, social finance trends, industry data, all of those things we help you to collect through your existing customer base to leverage the power of customer communities to cross-sell faster at a fraction of the cost. So a little bit about our bank journey. With Wellthi, you can be up and prototyping in less than 30 days. You can use Wellthi as a standalone complementary app or on-prem. Most of our clients will first start by testing Wellthi with their employees, for example, and then scaling up to customers. And we can do it in 3 easy phases. 1, configure Wellthi for any segment: consumer, small business, wealth. 2, onboard your staff, your bank content, your approved products and services, and start testing. 3, as you're testing, we're providing a ton of unique data insights to help your teams cross-sell smarter and faster. And the customer experience is seamless. Customers can opt in to adding Wellthi to their experience. We help them to set, track, and manage their financial goals with peers and trusted experts at the bank. Our generative AI provides financial health tips to help them meet their financial goals, laser focused on helping your teams cross-sell the right product at the right time at scale. I'm really excited about some of the results that we're seeing with our early adopters that I want to share with you today. On the right is the typical social networking platform where most financial institutions are dumping their marketing and business development spend. On the middle is where you're competing with most FinTech direct-to-consumer apps. And in the purple is Wellthi. We're showing an 82% conversion to install rate. Retention is over half of our customers are coming back every month on month, and lead gen is as high as 17%, which again is 56% higher than the industry standard. I've got an amazing team. I myself worked as an American diplomat for 10 years in emerging markets, focused on social finance before launching Wellthi. And my team has over 100 years of FinTech, social networking and payments experience, working for places like Meta, Amazon Payments, the World Bank, and even the White House. And so if you're interested in learning more about Wellthi and how we can help you increase your AUM, or learn more about our investment round, let me know. I'd love to talk with you at our booth today. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Caitlin Hurling. I'm part of the business development team at New York Life Ventures, a longstanding participant and supporter of the FinTech Innovation Lab. And I have the pleasure of introducing DeepSee, which was one of our mentor companies this year. The role of business development within New York Life Ventures is to be the connective tissue between the startup ecosystem and all the exciting things happening externally with the appropriate business units with that pain point internally. DeepSee made our job incredibly easy through their very succinct articulation of their value prop and where they can add ROI and expertise across our enterprise. Throughout the last 3 months, they've met with teams across our AI&D team, our AI governance team, our finance and finance operations teams, and all of them are incredibly impressed with their ability to build agents that operate across the front, middle, and back office to drive value. So very excited to introduce Steve, and without further ado, let him tell a little bit about the DeepSee story.
Thank you, Caitlin. Just to be clear, there's no K in our name, in case you were wondering, and we were there first. DeepSee is an agentic platform to automate and orchestrate complex front, middle, and back office operations for financial services. And as you see here, we're excited to be partnered with leading firms to deliver that solution on the journey that our customers are taking to adopt AI-powered solutions in their environments. We work with these folks to deploy in existing architectures so that we can meet our firms where they are in their digital transformation journey. Now, we all know in our industry there are several sort of tailwinds around modernization that are driving the need for change, whether it's regulatory or compliance mandates driven by industry-specific requirements or geo-specific requirements, as well as just the existence of legacy systems with siloed data, and really the need and desire to digitize tribal knowledge. And as we all know, in this world, in this segment, in this industry, technology adoption has always been bleeding edge. Whether it's better data insights, more structured workflow automation. In the world of AI anywhere, there's a tremendous need now to not only leverage firm proprietary knowledge, but deploy that in a more flexible, more intelligent platform for automation and orchestration. DeepSee solves this problem by delivering a single platform that handles all your complex knowledge work, deployed in a simplified manner for faster time to value, as well as continually learning focused exclusively on industry-specific use cases. And we're delivering real value to our clientele. As you can see here, these are real outcomes with real blue chip institutions. And we're very excited about the fact that we can deliver below-the-line efficiency gains while also opening up competitive advantages with faster, better, safer results. Now, our platform has two primary components. We have a training and inference engine that leverages the best foundational models out there, trained and tuned to finance content and context. And we pair that AI probabilistic work with process certainty through our ontology and knowledge graph architecture. This allows us to not only deliver accuracy and precision, but also transparency and auditability for GRC requirements, all supporting the ability to handle unstructured inputs and areas where you have you can't enforce format discipline. We're able to handle these edge cases end to end. This is a selection of our agents that we ship today. As you can see, they're not generic automations. They're very specific to the industry. And we're going to be shipping what we call a DIY agent later this year to handle all kinds of reconciliation in the front, middle, and back office. And importantly, the platform is extensible. You can see here we're handling sort of complex OTC derivative trades with one agent. We're handling variable standard settlement instruction automation with another, all working off the same platform. And finally, our customers take great comfort in a team that comes from industry, understands their language, and understands the nuances of their business. We're closing our Series A round later this month, and we hope you'll stop by the table to see us for a demo. Thank you for your time, and thank you for the FinTech Innovation Lab experience.
Good morning, everybody. Sam Amorin from Citi's Innovation Labs. I often joke that dev teams don't know pain until they have to transform a COBOL program into modern day languages. And unfortunately, I know that pain too well. So Bloop is centered around helping make that process a little more easier, leveraging AI tools. It's wonderful working with Lewis and team as we bonded over that pain. So I'm going to introduce, it's my pleasure to introduce Lewis as he talks about how Bloop can help solve that. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. I feel very fortunate to have a mentor who has actually worked on COBOL to Java and knows this firsthand. I'm Louis. I'm one of the co-founders and the CEO of Bloop. And we help very large companies like yourselves modernize legacy applications. The average COBOL developer is 58. This is a problem. Legacy modernization is important for a number of reasons. Staff and skills are becoming a scarce resource, but also, let's be honest, an hour spent modernizing legacy code, an hour spent keeping up with technical debt or trying to keep the lights on is an hour that you're not spending improving your customer experience. When we talk about legacy modernization, we mean infrastructure. So you could be interested in a data center exit or leaving behind mainframe entirely. We're also talking about adopting languages which graduates today are actually learning. And also, and this is kind of an interesting recent one, data that is in silos is unavailable for training of models, and also simpler use cases like BI and analytics as well. And we also see a huge demand for the adoption of Kafka, event-driven architectures, as well as obviously breaking down monoliths into microservices. So the traditional way to solve this problem is basically to use humans. Use humans to understand the legacy code base, use humans to convert the legacy code base, and then you have an even longer period of time where humans are checking that stages 1 and 2 were accurate, and there's a lot of vector space for human error to be introduced during that process. We flip this on its head. So by testing up front and using AI actually to generate tests for the entire legacy application, that gives us a really safe harness for when we move on to the conversion stage of this process. So when we talk about conversion, this is also using AI, but we're doing this in an incremental way where the AI is able to run the test suite at any moment to check whether the changes it is making have introduced an error or not. And as we all know, language models hallucinate. And so we expect them to fail, and we make sure that we can catch those failures and remediate them. We're in production with a number of financial institutions, but I want to talk especially about a project we did last year with Valsoft, who are a Canadian private equity firm. We worked with them to convert a piece of 50-year-old legacy aviation software. Literally, there's comments in here about Y2K and a lot of stuff from the 70s in there. Their problem was a lot of their staff were aging out, and they wanted to move from COBOL with an Oracle backend into AWS and adopt Aurora Postgres. We found when we did a trial comparison of their engineers versus our AI system that we were able to convert their system 5 times faster than what humans could do, and with no loss in performance. Actually, a slight gain. It runs 30% faster when you run the batch processes now. And of course, the big saving is the cost. So 70% reduction when you move from the COBOL Oracle into the cloud with newer technology. And we've raised from some tier 1 investors, including Y Combinator, and we'll be at the booth outside. So if you have legacy code, I know you have legacy code, you should come and talk to us. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Karen Wang. I am a principal at Deutsche Bank Corporate Venture Capital. Thank you, Maria, Steve, and Luke, and your team for curating the 2025 cohort. This year, I had the pleasure of mentoring Donnie Greenberg and his team from Runhouse. Runhouse was founded in 2022 and based right here in New York City. It was inspired by Donnie's experience leading multiple re-architecture of Meta's machine learning and data platforms, as well as his role as the open source product lead for PyTorch. Runhouse develops a platform that makes it easier to build, test, and run machine learning and AI applications. Its main goal is to remove the complexity of infrastructure management supporting both on-prem and in the cloud, so that AI and machine learning developers can focus on their core work. Runhouse helps banks and other enterprises maximize the impact of their AI and machine learning initiatives and accelerates time to value. Now, please help me welcome Donnie Greenberg from Runhouse to the stage.
Thanks so much, Karen. Thank you for being such a great partner to us. Hi, I'm Donnie Greenberg. I'm the co-founder of Runhouse, and we make AI development scalable, debuggable, and reproducible. So you already pay hundreds of people today to creatively mobilize your data into business impact with machine learning. These are your data scientists, quants, ML researchers, and engineers across well-established use cases in financial services like quantitative modeling, fraud detection, automation recommendations, et cetera. And Runhouse makes them 5 to 10x more productive. Your ML teams are sort of like koi fish. They are very expensive and quite beautiful, but most importantly, they grow to the size of the tank that you put them in. And what I mean by that is the size of their business impact is directly related to the compute and data scale at which they can build and iterate and debug their applications. And this isn't a personal theory. This is a very well-established phenomenon in AI that's often called the bitter lesson, that compute and data scale always wins. Some recent case studies from Stripe and Netflix include Stripe boosting their fraud detection from 59 to 97% by expanding the data that the system is trained on from a limited subset of transactions to the full transaction stream. So that's the impact of data scale. And at Netflix, they showed that by scaling the compute associated with their core recommendation infrastructure, they were able to see a proportional increase in business impact. And that's top-line business impact. That's user retention and watch time. So in enterprise ML, development silos suppress scale. Generally, you have to pick between a debuggable environment like hosted notebooks, where you have extremely fast iteration debugging to get your application working, but basically no scale, just a single server, and no reproducibility. It's sort of like a Wild West environment. Nothing is captured in code. There's very poor version control, no auditability or governance. And then a silo where things are scalable, like Kubernetes or SageMaker, where you have very slow iteration, like 30 minutes to rerun anything to debug, add a print statement or debug, or a reproducible silo where you're scaling organizationally, where like Airflow, where everything is captured in code. And moving between these silos generally takes weeks or months. What if you could take the best out of all three of these silos, the scale of Kubernetes, the fast iteration debugging of notebooks, and the reproducibility and auditability and governance of Airflow? Well, that's basically Runhouse. It is a way bigger tank for your ML fish. It is a way for your ML teams to build ML applications at full compute and data scale directly on your own Kubernetes clusters with 1 second execution times comparable to notebooks compared to 30 to 60 minutes, which is typical. And everything is captured in version-controlled code, just like Airflow. What does this mean in terms of actual business impact? We had a product ranking team that came to us because they were working on SageMaker, and they couldn't actually onboard new clients because they were spending 50% of their time as a team debugging as they attempted to proceed through these silos. It also took them 2 to 3 months to get any new feature into production, and they were trapped in the SageMaker silo, meaning that they had very poor control over the underlying hardware, and they also couldn't actually implement many applications that they wanted to because they were blocked by SageMaker's opinionation. Since they've moved to Runhouse, their overall team time as a team debugging is now less than 1%, meaning they could start onboarding customers again immediately, and they 2x their customers in about 6 months. They have 4 to 6x faster time to value, meaning that a feature or a new scaling of a model that previously took them a quarter now takes them a 2-week sprint, which is obviously transformative, and 70% cost savings relative to SageMaker through much better control over the underlying hardware. And because Runhouse is very natively multi-cloud and hybrid cloud, they were able to adopt cheaper GPUs in a different cloud in about 2 days. So we're on a mission to democratize data and compute scale for your AI ML teams, sort of like Snowflake did for your data analysts and BI people. So this is something you're trying to do. Please come and talk to us after. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Farouk Hassan from the AI strategy team at SMBC. I joined the bank in March 2025, and I'm new to the FIL community as well. So it's been an exciting discovery the last few months. One of the highlights has been working with Anchain.ai, a company that I've had the pleasure of chaperoning during this time. They're pioneering customizable agentic AI to combat financial crime and streamline compliance across both crypto and traditional finance, earning the trust of regulators such as the SEC and the IRS. We recently introduced them to our colleagues at SMBC Tokyo, where they're exploring ways to enhance the manual, labor-intensive KYC AML process. Their platform's ability to automate data collection, verification, and analytics shows strong potential to reduce effort while improving accuracy. With that, I'm honored to introduce Victor Wang, the co-founder and CEO of Anchain.ai.
Thank you. Thank you, Farouk, for the wonderful intro, and it's been a great pleasure to working with the SMBC team in the past few months. So we're Anchain.ai. We're mission-critical agentic AI to fight financial crime and streamline compliance. Our anti-money laundering solutions are not working. The banks are increasingly being penalized, and it's getting more expensive. It costs about $70 to review an AML alert. And the major banks are processing over hundreds of thousands of alerts every year. And the industry is spending $60 billion on the compliance program. We need a better solution. So let me tell you a little bit about our story. We started building a battle-tested AI for the cryptocurrency investigation and AML. Thanks to the openness of the blockchain data and smart contract data, we're able to train and fine-tune the machine learning model over 1 trillion transactions over 38 blockchains. We are the technologies behind the major cryptocurrency investigations, such as the Kyber swap and Crema and many more. Over $800 million of crypto asset seizures and recovery by partnering with law enforcement. We're the technology built for the future of finance, chosen by regulators over many competitors and trusted by 4 different sectors. Like, for example, governments like SEC and IRS that Farouk mentioned, and blockchain foundations and financial service and enterprise. Customers started asking us, can you enable your crypto investigation AI to the traditional anti-money laundering workflow? Based on our experience, actually, you compare these 2 workflows, they are quite similar. After the KYC and onboarding, you go through the intelligence and investigation and reporting. We are implementing LLM and RAG to actually do reasoning, planning, and function contouring. And we make sure the human review is in the center to address the current AI hallucination problem. And the good news is actually by partnering with the Fortune 500, right? So during the program, so we actually have confirmed, validated that the agentic AI complex workflow is mirroring exactly the pain point the Fortune 500 have. So with that, we're expanding our AI solutions from the $4 billion crypto AML to a much bigger space, which is the traditional finance compliance market. And we can do more than AML. We can do fraud detection, sanction, and many other use cases. So here is a snapshot of what we can do with our multi-agentic AI platform that is already improving the compliance workflow. We integrate with the existing compliance workflow, and one of the key use cases is actually the alert reduction. Remember, like those hundreds of thousands of alerts and $70 a pop, right? So it's very expensive to review. We're able to cut them at least by half using the LLM model we built out. And with the LLM, we're able to run crime typologies and sanction entities, and of course, auto trace if you're dealing with crypto and stable coins. Why we're special? We have built the technology to ingest and process siloed data and our government partnership. With a team of experts coming from AI, cybersecurity, and governments. Myself, I spent 15 years in Silicon Valley building AI products. It's great to hear my machine learning model I built at Mandiant is still protecting the Google Cloud from cyber attacks. Was a founding scientist at Away Security, got to build an AI product from ground up and acquired by Arista later on. Ben is a big data expert, and David Lam in the audience. He retired from the IRS after spending 20 years on investigating financial crime and AML. And we raised $15 million from the top investors. So join our mission to fight financial crime and streamline compliance. We're raising the next round. Visit our booth. We can't wait to show you the future of compliance workflow. Thank you.
Hi, good morning, everyone, and thanks for having me. So my name's Brad Craner. I actually have a new job, but I'll just leave that there for now. But I head up operations now for one of our business units within Zurich North America, and it was really a pleasure to be partnered with Peter and Feathery. So, you know, they do a lot, and I'll let him, you know, sort of expand on what they do, but at a high level, they improve workflow management. And as the head of operations, I am always looking for something that I can go to our business teams, leaders, and employees with to make their jobs easier. I mean, that's a big mantra of mine of how can I make things simpler. And when you think about the different types of data, whether the format, the information, what's missing from our broker partners, makes our underwriters' jobs very difficult in assessing the risk. So Feathery helps with that, and through a couple weeks in working with them, it's been very impressive. We're working towards a POC, which will be starting in a couple weeks. And with that, I'm happy to introduce Peter to tell you more about his company.
Cool. Thank you so much, Brad, for the amazing introduction. Hi, everyone. I'm Peter, CEO and co-founder of Feathery. We work with insurers and wealth managers to intake client data and analyze it faster and more accurately. So let's say you're a property insurance underwriter starting off your day. You get hit with an email for a quote request with a 24-hour turnaround. Now, on top of your existing workload, you have to read a bunch of complex PDFs and spreadsheets, you have to pull data from external systems, you have to calculate a loss pick, and then you have to make a decision within 24 hours. But that's where Feathery comes in. We're an AI-powered submission intake and analysis solution that, one, reads complex documents, spreadsheets, submission emails. We connect with your external data sources, core internal systems to synchronize data. And then finally, we put all that together into a collaborative UI for your underwriters to easily review and approve the information. So let's break that down. First, we read complex documents, spreadsheets. This includes your accord forms, insurance applications, loss runs, policies, and more. We take that data. We have over 140 native integrations into core insurance systems like Guidewire, Duck Creek, CRMs like Salesforce, data providers like a CyberCube, and more. Finally, we put it all together into a collaborative UI, customizable to the underwriters, where they can triage submissions, review, edit, and approve the information, and then finally send off these submissions into end systems. In addition to our insurance offerings, Feathery also works with RAs and broker-dealers in the wealth management industry. We automate client onboarding and custodial account openings. We power digital workflows that collect client data from advisors and end users, and then we fill out digital financial forms, and we connect with your entire wealth stack. Think, again, your CRMs like a Salesforce, Dynamics, portfolio management solutions like a Orion or a Black Diamond, financial planning tools like an eMoney or a Money Guide, e-signature solutions like a DocuSign. We connect with your entire stack to make sure that your client data is synchronized across your entire system. To cap it all off, what makes Feathery really stand out from other solutions is our flexibility. When you're dealing with complex workflows like insurance underwriting or client onboarding, all-in-one solutions quickly reach their limits in terms of how far they can scale. Feathery is the only solution that actually allows you to customize your workflow to your actual requirements, and as your requirements change over time, Feathery will grow with it. A little bit about the team. My co-founder and I have been working with top insurers and wealth managers since 2021. Previously, I drove client onboarding and growth at Robinhood. My co-founder, Zach, was head of growth at High Touch, a company that he helped scale from 0 to over $1 billion valuation. Finally, Feathery itself is growing very fast. We've 6x revenue in both 2023 and 2024. We've been profitable for over a year with over 300 paying customers on board. We process millions of submissions on a monthly basis, so we have experience dealing with enterprise scale. Finally, we take data privacy and security very seriously. We're SOC 2 compliant, we're GDPR, HIPAA compliant. We offer on-prem deployments for critical workflows. And yeah, we have experience dealing with enterprise scale. That's why enterprises like MassMutual, Hiscox, and the Baldwin Group trust us with their critical workflows. Thank you all very much.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Vadim Kovalchuk, Head of Risk Compliance and Legal Engineering at AQR Capital Management, and I'm excited to introduce our next speaker, Ankur Patel, founder and CEO of Multimodal. Ankur is no stranger to innovation. Multimodal is his third company, I believe, and this time he's taken on one of the most timely topics in enterprise tech, agentic AI automation. As AI becomes more deeply embedded in the enterprise, Ankur's work stands out for clarity of its vision and meaningful results. It's been a real pleasure spending time with Ankur and his team, and I think you will find his take on building scalable AI automation both relevant and practical. And please join me in welcoming Ankur to the stage. Thank you.
Thanks for that beautiful introduction, Vadim. So today I want to talk about one of the biggest problems in finance and our solution to it. One of your biggest assets today is talent. They've acquired decades of deep expertise on some of the most mission-critical workflows that you have. But due to a variety of reasons, M&A, RIFs, reorgs, or simply people retiring, that talent walks out the door. And with them goes the expertise, which ends up being a blocker to growth. Now with agentic AI, for the first time ever, you have the means to go and productize all of that tacit knowledge, and more importantly, scale that expertise to the rest of the team. Now, I'm sure you've spoken with hundreds of AI startups over the last year, so I want to start with a few things that make us different. First, we know finance and insurance were built for specifically those two verticals. And we're built for business operators. The majority of AI companies out there are built for developers. And the business people are the superheroes in the story, and we want to empower them. And the last bit is that change management is the big blocker to adoption. And so with our high-touch partnership model, we drive that adoption that's necessary. Now, a little bit of my background, Vadim mentioned this, third startup for me. I've been building AI software over the last 10 years, wrote in a couple of books on the topic. But a lot of my background stems from finance at places like JP Morgan and Bridgewater, so I know what you go through day in and day out. And what my team and I have done is we've distilled that into what we call the anatomy of knowledge work. So we serve loan origination, underwriting, and claims processing as an initial set of use cases. And while they may seem different, when you break down the anatomy, so you get to first principles, you have a couple of steps that are present in each of those workflows. And our job is to have products off of our platform informed by your team's expertise to help them to get this work done. Now, with our platform agent flow, we drive this in the following way. AI takes the initial action. We then feed that data into the existing workbenches, keeping people working out of the same systems that they're accustomed to. But then those experts review and provide feedback. And when you do dozens or hundreds of these cycles, you're then making the AI informed with the deep expertise that your people have. That's how you're scaling up the expertise across your team, right? And so this is really critical, getting humans to supervise the AI, getting them informed, and then repeating this cycle. And what ends up happening is that instead of doing administrative work, people in these roles get to do more of the critical thinking, leveraging the expertise they have because AI is doing a lot of that initial work on their behalf. Now, the other big thing that stands in the way is the infrastructure, the models, the tooling, all the things that your IT teams are saddled with. This should be far more intuitive, far simpler to do, because they should be able to serve their business teams more quickly. And so with our platform, we still give IT these choices, but they get to add value more quickly, so it's faster time to value. And with that, we're able to drive many more pilots directly informed by business to serve them better, right? And so you have more experiments, you have more ability to drive value and get those into production. And with that, we've been able to see some real measurable impact with the banks and the carriers that we work with. So fewer errors, lower costs in doing work, those are pretty standard. But what I find most remarkable is that you get much faster closing times because we're able to drive faster decisions. And in a lot of these workflows, that ends up being top-line enabling. And with that, I want to thank everyone for the opportunity today. Thanks to Accenture, BNY for hosting us, and the Partnership Fund. Thank you, everyone.
All right, I'm going to close this segment and then move us downstairs. But I just want to say a few to the founders and the CEOs. Amazing. And actually, you were very efficient, and we're a little bit ahead of schedule. I know Katinka Wallstrom wants to swing by and say hello. She was going to say some words, but we actually beat the time. So, and I had texted Katinka 1 year ago, almost exactly, after our last demo day and said, hey, what do you think about hosting at Bank of New York? And she said, I'm in. So really, thanks to the Bank of New York team, Brianna Sartek, what an iconic location. Couldn't think of a better place. And Maria, as always, thanks to you and the Partnership Fund. And maybe I'll just leave a few things to the FinTech Innovation Lab family, all of you who are here today. This is the end of the cycle, but it's also the beginning. So stay in touch. We're always recruiting, looking for the next year's class. Please, let's help identify another class to follow this year's phenomenal group. So with that, I'm going to close it out. Thanks all, and let's go downstairs to the 6th floor for open networking.